All right, I think we're live. Hello, everybody out in Facebook. This is Leslie Lockhart with Abbington Life Magazine, and for our Real Talk series. And today I am with the lovely, wonderful, handsome Austin Dowd of Austin Dowd Photography, one of our photographers in Abbington Life Magazine. So we will be at the end. Austin's going to tell us about a new offering he has for some photography and business needs. And so let me take it off to Austin and tell us about who you are, how you got started, all that good stuff.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm Austin Dowd. The name's fairly simple, Austin Dowd Photography. So I, in the last year, have taken my photography from more of a freelance model and trying to move it into a more full-time endeavor. Our local pandemic guidelines have kind of squashed that a little bit. So the last 9 years, I was an at-home dad. And so I'm kind of just doing that role again now. But prior to becoming an at-home dad, I worked in marketing for a few years. And before that, I had a background in photography. So when my kids started school, it seemed just kind of like a natural progression to want to go into business for myself. And since I have a background in marketing and this expertise in photography, I was able to merge it into just kind of this commercial and portrait photography business that I've started. And so a lot of what I do is work with small businesses, developing marketing and like social media posts and things like that for them, so that they have kind of a treasure trove of high quality photos that they can use throughout the year for print, online, and social media posts. And then on the other side of that too, I also do what's now I think termed a lot of people have heard personal branding photography, which is kind of my portrait work, but kind of working to make sure that the people that I'm working with, my clients, are able to express a little bit more than just kind of the mugshot style of what you look like, but also express a little bit more about who it is that you are and what you do. And I really enjoy working with professionals who are really interested in putting more of themselves out there, so that, you know, when we talk about how important first impressions are, when somebody's exploring your business page or your social media pages, they see an image of you that says much more than just my, you know, newspaper mugshot kind of thing. It shows who you are, what you're interested in, what your careers are, what your personality is like. So I've kind of narrowed that down into my little niche here, and it's been really nice. I've had a great relationship with some local businesses, and I've had a lot of working professionals come up to me who maybe they're not looking for their business interest, but looking for their own professional interest in you know, beefing up their online or their just professional appearance.
I saw a dog there in the background. I see a dog.
Yeah,
Dog.
I got a couple.
Dogs, 2 dogs.
Yeah.
Sorry, got puppy distraction.
I can
it's
pick
very
this one up.
possible my cat may hop up on my lap while I'm doing this, but hello.
So this is Holly. She's the only one I can pick up. She's a rescue we got last year. She's like a 15-pound kind of terrier mix. We got her from Hope Rescue in Durham, I think. I was confused because my mom now volunteers with Saving Grace. I keep wanting to say Saving Grace, but it was Hope out of Durham. And then we have Daisy as well. She is a 60-pound lab, so she'll stay on the floor here. But it seems like every dog takes ownership of somebody in the house. Holly is my wife's dog, and Daisy has kind of become my dog. I think the only reason Holly's down here right now is my wife's on a call, and she kicked her out of the office.
Well, we're the same with ours. We have 2 cats. One is they were both mine. One is pretty much mine, and one's my husband's, though. So anyway, get distracted by the animals. So what has changed in the photography world during this COVID, this pandemic? Like, I know that, you know, you're unique because you have the stay-at-home dad role, but even without that, like, how has this made your business change, and what are you having to do besides obviously socially distancing as much as you can?
For me, I can tell you from my experience with this, I've kind of just shuttered a lot of stuff. I had been kind of working towards wanting to get my own studio and working out of a commercial space, so that I could bring clients into a space that was a little bit more kind of in tune with what their needs would be, as opposed to working out of my home at the moment. Because a lot of what I had been doing was working on site for clients. So, you know, I'd go into a chiropractor's office and work in their rooms to get photos, or a dentist's office and work with them while they're in the chairs. So that kind of stuff has been put on hold. And until those kind of offices are opening back up again, I'm kind of just sitting on my hands. I've been doing a lot of online learning. Well, photography, I've been doing it for 15 years. Running my own business is something that's fairly new to me. And so I found a lot of great resources online that I've been kind of using to brush up on what I need to do when things open back up again, that I can hit the ground running. And I've had a lot of great resources to do that. I've learned recently Wake Tech offers a small business counseling for free, which was like the coolest thing ever when I found out about that. So, but other than that, I just kind of I put the at-home dad hat back on and have been living that life again since shutdown started. And we just enrolled my kids in the virtual academy with Wake County. So I think I'll be wearing that hat again until probably New Year's or so, when spring semester comes around and we can kind of look
we'll see.
Like.
We'll see.
So for now, most of my work has been smaller stuff. If I'm going to get out, my wife's company has now allowed them to take a lot more flexibility in how they schedule their day. So I now have some freedom to be able to get out and leave my kids with her to manage schooling, so I can go out and work with a client. My hope is this fall to pick up 1 or 2 clients a week. Just kind of keep practice, keep going, and helping to build those relationships, and making sure that the clients that I have had are able to continue their business in a way that they can promote themselves and market themselves, and they have somebody coming in that can do something more than just, camera phone shots. So,
So how did you get into photography in the first place?
It's been a lifelong passion since high school. I picked up my dad's old Pentax ME Super and started shooting film. And then when I went to college, one of my dorm mates down the hall noticed I like to take photos, and he's like, "Hey, the school newspaper hires photographers, and they'll pay you to take photos." And that kind of started this snowball into like a passion. The first year I started working for the newspaper and the yearbook at NC State. By the second year, I was a photo editor for the Agramac, our annual yearbook at NC State. And then by the time I left, I was a director of photography with the whole student media there. So I was working to train new photographers, kind of developing stories on my own, and working with editors to have those published in different magazines and the newspaper, the yearbook, things like that. And then it's just kind of kept up ever since then. When I got into marketing, it was kind of a marriage of a lot of skills I had in college. And I just continued to work there. I did marketing for an architecture firm, and so I did a lot of architectural photography, which taught me enough to know that once I was out on my own, architectural photography is not really my thing. I learned I really enjoyed working with people, is what I did a lot in school. Cameras are like free passes when you're working for a newspaper to do pretty much whatever you want and get in and talk to anybody you want to. And I really enjoyed that kind of freedom to kind of use my gear, my passion, my job to be able to just get in and get to know people. Because my degree, while I say it's unused, it has been highly utilized just for me personally, was in anthropology. So knowing how to understand people and kind of picking up different perspectives and ways of life has been something I find I really like to do with my work. And so being able to jump into a situation with a client, get to know who they are and what they do very quickly, that's all stuff I had picked up in college. And then marketing kind of gave me the tools I needed to work more with business to business stuff. And then I've kept it up ever since. Once I left my job to become a stay-at-home dad, I continued to freelance wherever I could. And then of course I've got billions of photos of my kids.
Yeah. How old are your kids?
They just turned 10 and 7. They both have summer birthdays. So my 7-year-old turned 7 at the beach last week. So.
Okay. So was there ever, and I know it's a totally different medium that I have some sort of experience in, not really doing it, but in the world, in the industry, but video. Did you ever do anything with video or?
I did. That's actually something I'm trying to learn through this pandemic. I think everybody's picking up a million hobbies through this. And one of the things I realized is I'm not interested in doing videography. I feel like that's a talent that would just take so much time to learn. That if I ever had a client that was interested in that, I'd feel more comfortable finding a talented videographer to pull in. But what I'm really starting to learn is I would like to build in cinematography or videography into small bits of my business, either through my own personal marketing. I've been really envious of your Facebook Live events. I really want to set up a YouTube channel and an online video blog to kind of help teach clients what they need. So when I can't come in, or if I'm going to be coming in a week, what they can do to prepare, what they can do on their own without having me come in and take every single shot of every product they've got in their shop. But that empowers them to kind of free up their budget to be able to use me as a service to do the higher hitting stuff. And so my hope is to learn enough video to be able to produce basically that kind of educational material, as well as I've really gotten into cinemagraphs, which is like a moving picture. You usually see them in
Okay.
GIF formats. I posted one recently because I was just tinkering with it, but it's like piqued my interest now, and I really want to try it out. So that's about as far in the video as I've gotten.
Neat, neat. So just we're running a little out of time. I could just talk all day to people, but what are a couple of like Apex area small businesses that you really are kind of supporter of or champion for?
A client I actually met through the magazine was Little Tooth in Apex. That made one of my favorite clients from 2019. I know she has been going through, I think she got married this year or bought a house recently. And Dr. Yu also is dealing with her own pandemic shutdown and restructuring, things like that. But everybody I talked to, I'm like, I want to work with more pediatric dentists just like Dr. Yu, because that was so much fun. Her office was so colorful, her staff was so vibrant. So right now, like I said, I've been sitting on my hands, and so I'm not doing a lot with a lot of small businesses through the pandemic. I'm trying to shift that a little bit once fall starts up and finding some ways I can do some professional branding photography with small businesses, at which point I'm going to start reaching out again. I really enjoy working with independent healthcare providers, so pediatric dentists, chiropractors, fitness trainers, yoga teachers, things like that, because they tend to have personalities that kind of really, like, I think really fit well with what I do.
Right.
It's very, I've never met a chiropractor, a dentist or anybody that's not expressive, is not a great people person. And I can really kind of take that and pull that into a photo for them. And I think everybody walks away feeling really good about that.
Great. So let me just ask you one really quick question. Now, you said you went to the beach last week, right?
Yeah, we went to Sunset.
Sunset? Is that your favorite beach? What's your favorite beach?
I always really like the Outer Banks.
Yes.
We never went there as kids, but my brother worked several summers as a kayaking guide there. And so we have a free place to stay, which sounds really luxurious, but he was a college kid living with 8 other college kids in a 4-bedroom house. So like going to stay with him was always like, I slept in a hammock under his house for like a weekend. I slept on a couch several times, but it was so much fun. I learned how much the Outer Banks has to offer. So if I ever have my choice of beach, it's usually Kitty Hawk or Kill Devil Hills, because you've got the beach there. If you like to snorkel, there's several shipwrecks right off the beach that most people don't know about. And then it's also one of the largest beach communities in North Carolina. So there's a lot of year-round offerings. So
my aunt actually lives there.
It's a great place. We have several friends that I met through my brother that live down there now. And they run programs year-round for kids. They have, I always find like the putt-putt courses down there are really good because the locals like to play there. Yeah. They got movie theaters, the good grocery stores, all that stuff. So.
Yeah. Last fall, I went to the Outer Banks for the first time in years for like a vacation. We went to Hatteras area, and it's a little farther, but it was so nice and relaxing. But anyway, so a lot of times on these videos, we do some sort of giveaway. So Austin actually, since he's a photographer, has a new offering, new program he wants to try out. Anyone who is interested, first couple people that are interested. So Austin, what is that about?
Yeah, so we've seen a lot of people through this time. I think unemployment is scary. I think that number coming out, and there's a lot of safe industries, there's a lot of not safe industries, but it seems like no industry is not being touched by this. And so one of the things my wife is, through a couple of programs at work and through some volunteer work, she's, a certified behavioral therapist or behavioral-based interview coach or a behavior-based interview conductor through MetLife. So she's pulled in to do a lot of interviews based around behavior-based interview styles. She's also got coaching through Dress for Success the last few years on resume coaching, interview coaching for mostly women at any spectrum of the basically industry sector. So if you're looking to move from fast food into a more administrative office job, or she's had professors come in that are looking to move up within the administrative ladder at their respective colleges. And she helps coach them through like what it takes to kind of beef up your resume and your interviews. And so the two of us have talked about maybe combining a lot of what I do with headshots for just professionals and building a package that is a pay what you can, basically professional branding package. So come to me, I can get your headshot done. I can give you, usually I do 3 or 4 headshots for professionals. They have a LinkedIn shot. They have something for their Facebook that looks really good, and their Instagram. It kind of gives a good variety across all media. And then my wife can work with them to kind of develop the resumes a little bit better, go through a couple mock interviews to make sure that they're set. So when they get called in for an interview, they're ready to go. since we're dealing with people that are, you know, trying to look for work, we kind of thought it seemed odd for me to charge $150 for a headshot when they're really trying to just get that next job and get the paycheck. And, you know, if we tie in the interview coaching and the resume coaching, we're looking at like about a $500 service package. And so we kind of decided we're going to go with a pay what you can model. So if you are a person that is just kind of between jobs, but you're in a good financial situation, we can kind of quote you what this would charge full price. And we would hope that everybody would treat the honor system in a way that they could pay what they truly can. But if you're really struggling, you're out of work and you know that your resume is one of 50 on a desk and you really want to make sure that it's a top contender, we can help you get there. And it feels like it would be a better place to make sure that you get there so that in the next year or two, when you come back to us, you're in a good job with a good pay. And at what point, you know, a pay what you can model is really not something that you need. But that's the kind of relationship we want to build with people as they look for work right now. So if you are in that kind of situation, you're looking for work, we haven't built this as an offering yet. We're trying to get all the stuff together, get the foundations built for it, you know, make sure, you know, homeowners insurance is okay with me doing headshots in my garage and make sure that kind of stuff is set. But we need a couple guinea pigs. So if anybody's interested in this, I think I need about 2 or 3 candidates to kind of go through this process. And they can email me. My email is just austin@austindowd.com. And I can set them up. We can do a headshot, probably right here in my garage, you know, practicing good coronavirus safe distancing policies. We can get some simple stuff, some outdoor stuff to make sure that they've got a good, robust package to kind of dress up their online presence. And then the other thing we're kind of tinkering around with this is, I know a lot of businesses are struggling. I have a few friends that are caterers that lost jobs because their main client was a big tech company that shut down. And they're trying to transition, or maybe they're just trying to remind people they're out there. So we're trying to build something that's more of a pay when you can for businesses. So if you need a marketing package and maybe a net 30 invoice isn't going to work for you, we can talk about an extended invoicing policy so that you can build a marketing campaign, you can get those images together, and then 6 months or a year from now, you have that capability once things have turned around to pay that off, so that you have what you need now and your marketing budget will fit it later on. We can work with that. That's something we're kind of tinkering with now. I got to figure out a little bit more on like the actual foundational work for that. But if you're a small business and you're looking to kind of boost up your marketing campaign, think about emailing me as well. I'd really like to see what people need and how we can kind of build this model so that, you know, I'm able to continue to serve my clients in a way that isn't putting them further in a hole.
Right. That's awesome. So I'm going to definitely tag Austin in the comments of the video as well. And so to enter, or I guess to participate in any of these things, you can just contact Austin directly. But I'll share it on my personal, and maybe you'll get some good candidates. So thanks for taking the time, and just everyone keep an eye out for the August issue of Abbington Life, because we actually feature an article about Austin, where you can see some pictures of his family and him and read more about him. So thanks for doing this, Austin, and nice to meet your dogs.
No problem. Yeah, I appreciate it. Luckily, the kids stayed in the other room because once they come in,
mine did too. It's amazing. I forgot to put my little stop sign out that I put out when I don't want to be disturbed. But stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thanks. Take it easy.
Thanks.